Hi guys, it's Ryan Gill from Gill's Primitive Archery again, and by watching this you're probably wondering, can you shoot a short bow like this? This bow here is 50 inches long from tip to tip, and that is a pretty dang short bow. A lot of people want to shoot the shortest bow they can for maneuverability in the woods. One of the most despised things by bow hunters is climbing up in a tree stand or hunting in a ground blind, and they got a great big long bow. They pull it back when a deer comes in and they hit a tree limb above them. They're hitting the ground below them. There's brush in the way, and it really hurts your ability as a hunter to make a good shot. So when somebody orders a bow from me, I hear it all the time. I want a bow that draws 55 pounds at 29 inches. Can you make that bow 63 inches long? I'm sorry, I just can't do it. Not on this standard type of longbow. It's got a rigid grip on it. But what I can do is I can do a version of this short bow a little bit longer. You know, I can make one, say, about 66 inches long that bends through the handle like this, maybe even shorter if it's sinew backed, and I can get that full draw length out of it. But you may not need as long of a bow as you think you do. Your draw length may in fact be shorter than you think it is. This is something that I experienced myself when I thought that my draw length for years was 27 inches. Then I would pull a bow back and measure it and say, well, it's 26 inches. And when I'd actually shoot, I was only shooting 22 inches, sometimes even less. I watch this with friends of mine. It's nothing new. People short draw all the time. They form what are considered to be bad habits. I don't think it's a bad habit. I like the fact that I short draw because I can shoot a wee little bow like this at full draw and get maximum power out of it. So, you know, how do you know if you can shoot a short bow like this? Well, first we need to know your draw length. And if you watch my draw length video, it's gonna, you know, tell you that you take a longer bow like this and you hold it out and you draw it back and you mark the arrow, and where it comes to, that's your draw length. Well, you know what? I just drew probably about 26 inches, maybe even more. But I don't shoot that. That's not my natural style of shooting. It may be yours. Your draw length may be exactly what you think it is. The reality is, anybody can pick up a bow and draw it back and hold it at anchor, you know, for a second and say, this is what my draw length is, and extend their arm all the way and hold the bow upright. But when it comes to really shooting that bow, you may be short drawing it a lot more than you think you are. Okay, so what we have here is the arrow that I shot. Let's hope that you can see them on there. I don't know if you can with the lighting, but anyway, I got marks on this arrow that I measured from the inside of the nock, not the end of the arrow, but the inside of the nock. And I started it off at 21 inches, I believe. It might have been 20. I just don't remember. Doesn't matter really. Started off at 20 inches, say. Put a mark. Draw a circle all the way around if you want. Then 21, 22, 23, 24, up all the way to the end of the arrow. Then you're going to take your bow and go ahead and give it a pull, you know, just like you normally would. If it's your normal bow that's okay to draw a full static draw, go ahead and pull it back. Don't do it if it's not meant to draw that far, obviously. And measure it. Now, have somebody stand here with you, shoot that bow a few times, and don't pay any attention to the marks on the arrow. Just say, I'm shooting naturally. There's no sense in kidding yourself or lying to yourself. It doesn't make you any more manly to have an extra long draw. You get that sometimes, people saying, I'm a big man, you know, I have a 30-inch draw. And you know what? It doesn't make you any better of an archer or any bigger of a man. That's just what you draw. So you know what? If you're 6'2" and draw 25 inches, that's okay. It doesn't mean anything except that you're underdrawing your bow, and it's not that you're weak. It's just a style of shooting. Like I said, I'm about 6 foot tall, maybe a little bit less, and I draw 22 inches on my natural draw. But I don't ever come to a full draw. You know, I don't stand upright. I hunch forward, shoot it kind of like a shotgun in front of me, and when the weight compresses, you know, I'm way down. But I like that. I like to do that. So go ahead and just shoot naturally 4, 5, 6 times and don't pay any attention, and then have the person watch as you shoot a few more times, and don't tell them, don't tell them not to tell you right away where you're drawing. You just shoot and let them collect the data from watching your arrow. And then eventually you're going to say, okay, well, where was I shooting? And he'll say, well, pretty much every single time you were at the third mark, or close to it, or in between the third and the fourth, or, then that's how you're going to measure your true draw length. Measure that from the inside of the nock to where you were drawing on the back of the bow, and that's going to be your real draw. Now, you may be right. Maybe you draw 28 inches, maybe you draw 31 inches, but you might be surprised. You might only draw 21, 22, 23 inches and not even know it. That's what happened to me. A good friend of mine, Dax McCaleb, I've been making him bows for several years now, and he would pull back the bow and tell me, I got a 27-inch draw. Well, here recently I sent him a message and I said, hey, do this, shoot this bow and have your son watch it and tell me where you're really drawing to. Let's measure it. And he got back to me and said, well, I'm only drawing about 24 and a half inches, when I shoot. And I said, well, that's good, because now I can make you an even shorter bow, and I can make that bow really fast because I can maximize the energy stored in that bow. So why do you want to shoot a short bow anyway? We already discussed that you can fit it into some smaller areas, which is great. That's like the biggest plus as far as maneuverability. But you can get a lot of performance by shooting a bow that's sized to you correctly. And it's always been argued, well, what's faster, a long bow or a short bow? And the answer is neither. The answer is the fastest bow is the one that fits your draw length correctly. So if you draw 31 inches, you want a bow that is 7/8 bent all the way. It can go right before breaking. At your draw length, 31 inches. If you're only drawing 22 inches and you're shooting a 66-inch bow, you're moving a lot of limb mass and not getting a lot of performance out of it. Now, I'm not saying you can't kill a deer that way, because I've shot, 12, 13 so deer in just the last few years with bows anywhere from 60 to 66 inches. I think one was even 68 inches, and you can kill deer just fine. So if you want to shoot the longer bows, go for it. If it makes you feel extra safe, that's fine too. Just keep that in mind. But if you want to shoot one of these little short bows and you only draw 22, 23, 24 inches, whatever, what it's doing is bending these limbs the same as an archer that draws a 66-inch bow 28 inches, with a rigid handle. These, of course, bend through the handle. And as I draw this back, that was probably, I was a little bit less there even. That's probably 22 inches that I shoot. And now you got a lot less mass in the limbs to move, and it's really working the limbs heavily. So when you let it go, it really zips an arrow pretty darn fast, compared to a long bow that you're releasing in the same spot. That gets with it. So go ahead and measure your draw length like this and let me know what you're really shooting, and I can build you a bow that's going to maximize the performance out of your draw length. Again, if you do draw 28 inches and you want to shoot a short bow, I can't put you in a 50-inch bow, but I can put you in a really short bow, 58, 56 inches, just depending on some of the options. Even if you just want it a little bit shorter, but you don't want it to necessarily bend through the handle, and you still want a full handle on it, tell me what your draw length is, your real true draw length, and I can get it as short as I can and still be safe and reliable for you. But one thing to really keep in mind, it's very, very, very important. This bow is tillered to 22 inches. You saw how I took this bow behind me and I drew it back a static draw of 26, 27 inches. If I did that with this bow, it would explode into pieces and really hurt me. So if you order a bow like this from me and it's tillered to 22 inches and it'll say on the belly what it's tillered to, make sure it is your responsibility that you do not overdraw that bow on a static draw, and don't under any circumstances hand it to anybody else and say, here, shoot this bow, and then tell them, oh yeah, you just pull it back all the way just because you do. Well, just because you do doesn't mean that's full draw for them. Further, you may be scared at first to shoot it, and you'll find yourself really underdrawing it. You'll be pulling 20 inches, 21 inches because you're afraid of breaking the little bow. But have somebody watch you the first few times, and they're going to tell you, yeah, the mark that you put on the arrow that's full draw, you're an inch short of it, and you'll know that, hey, I can draw this further. Till next thing you know, you're doing the same thing you were on your big bow. You're pulling the bow back, and you're letting it go, and it's hitting the mark where it's supposed to be, and you're getting a lot of performance out of the bow. So give the little bows a try. I was skeptical at first. I was worried about breaking them. They kind of look like a kid's bow to me. They're so little. But man, I tell you what, they pack a punch. They really do. They're going to be one of my favorites for this upcoming season. And as far as accuracy goes, some people say that shooting a longer bow, you get more stability out of it, which translates into more accuracy. And I tell you what, I've never been more accurate than I have with this one. And I think it's the consistency I'm getting from the speed I get out of this bow. So much faster. I'm shooting a flatter shooting arrow. It's not dropping as far. This thing's shooting dead flat at about 25 yards. I'm getting back. I just hold the same. If I'm shooting 10 yards or 25 yards, my mind just looks at the same spot every time. Now I start getting a little higher, then I start raising the bow up a little bit. But you shouldn't need to shoot any more than 20 yards at an animal anyway. So go ahead and look these up. Give me a call and tell me what your real draw length is, and measure it out. And if you have interest in something short like this, you want a quick little self bow to get the job done, let me know, because we'll hook you up with a good one, and we can do snakeskin backing on them now and sinew backing, or just plain. I got some really neat little bows available. Usually I have a few on hand, if not, but I always take custom orders, of course. So, alright, well, thanks for watching, and best of luck to you.